But there was a person that was dealing with a lot of different circumstances that were kind of difficult. And I started praying for them, and I asked God, is there something you want to say? And as he was speaking, I knew I was sharing it with you because many of us go through this, okay? So it's about circumstances. And I'm going to read it to you, and then I'll break it down a little bit. That's what he said. Not always do circumstances need to change to bring change. More than not, what you must change is the spiritual atmosphere. What you must change is the mindset. What you must do is take authority over the circumstances and change them through faith. That was from the Lord. Now, let me break it down a little bit for you. What would he mean by mindset? Well, I tell you, I was telling Jeannie about what the Lord said, and I was so taken because he was showing me and Jeannie where we have change we need to make. So, whatever your circumstances is, it could be the fact that you're not living where you want. It could be the fact that your partner is not the way you think they should be. It could be all kinds of situations, hardships, not and having lack, whatever. The problem is our mindset needs to be. Our attitudes have to change. Our heart issues have to be healed and changed. All right? In order for us to do the rest, you're not going to take authority of it when you're still in a downtrodden place. I'll just take my own example. I have a really hard time functioning by myself because of disabilities. And the house wasn't done quite right. And the house isn't even finished. And so now I'm dealing with mold and leaks and all kinds of problems. And I get very, very frustrated. And I'm living where we don't even have a place to put anything or storage. So God is telling me to line up my faith with his and to do what I need to do, and he would provide. All right. Now I get distraught sometimes. I get depressed, or I get discouraged or frustrated. These are all normal feelings. So don't beat yourself up when for a moment you have them, but don't stay there. There's the mindset. I don't stay in that place. I look at what I have and I thank God for what at least I have. At least I have a roof over my head, and this stuff is temporary. I know it will get better if you would just hold on. Don't let your joy and your peace be robbed. Okay? I know I can't move much, and some days I can barely get from one area to the other walking. It's just not one of those days you're going to get anything done. That's okay. Tomorrow will be better. It's your mindset. It's your attitude. And I'll sit there and go, okay, God, help me. Help me get through this. And then tomorrow, I know tomorrow will be a better day. I encourage myself. I refuse to live the lies of Satan. Well, God's allowing this to teach you a lesson. No. He may be allowing it, but not to teach me a lesson. Not because I'm not good enough. None of that. If he allows it, it's to show me how strong I really am and that my strength relies on him. If he's showing me that, it's because there's a lot of people worse off and he wants me to count my blessings. There's a lot of reasons he will allow things to come about. Sometimes, though, remember what he said before. Sometimes what you're paying a price of is because of a consequence of your own decision and has nothing to do with God at all. Now, in this case, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't build. I don't know how to fix it. I didn't put together the walls or anything, so I don't know what they did. I don't know what's going on. All I know is it's got to get fixed. It's bad shape. Some of the water was seeping through the walls. This is brand new. What's up with that? And my first thought was, God, you pulled me out of this, and now I'm right back in it again. It's even smaller than what I need. This is what I look at. Is it fixable? Yes, it is fixable. Not easy maybe, but it's fixable. I just need the funds. Well, God, that's on him. That's his job. Do I need to let it rob my joy and my peace? No, because it is fixable. And guess what? There's worse off people who don't even have a home. There's people living in their cars. There's people that have lost everything, and they don't know Jesus on top of it. Let's learn to change our mindset so we can do as the Lord is saying. It's not the circumstances that necessarily have to change. It's us. It's that fact that God gave us the authority to take control of anything around us and command in his name and line it up with his word. and stand on his promises, then we'll see change. And if God wants to take us out of a relationship or a situation that's toxic, he'll do that. You just lay it on that altar and change your mindset and how you deal with it. Remember, he even showed me that. Dealing with a toxic situation, dealing with Christians that mean well, but say things that are way off base, okay? God said, be kind, be merciful, be forgiving, do not defend yourself, don't debate, don't fight. So don't try to make your point, don't debate, don't prove what you really said or how you really meant it. Just say, I'm sorry that it hurt you, period. Immediately. Don't engage, don't linger, don't debate. Okay, and don't defend. God is your defender. God will vindicate you in time. And besides, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks of you. That's an opinion, not a fact. I want someone, God just said someone needs to hear this again. I think there's a couple of you. She showed me the number 3. There's 3 of you that are dealing with someone who says something about you that you say, well, if they say that, that must be what I am. Their opinion, that is not a fact. If you want the facts of who you really are, get in the Bible and see what God says. Because even yourself, you can come against your own self, your worst enemy. And you're coming it from a mindset of a human being, not the heart of God. Now, I don't know who you are, but I want you to hear that. What they say you are, God says is just a matter of opinion. It's not the truth. All right? I'm glad I started this because God just showed me there's 3 people listening right now that need to hear that. And you might be your own one that's saying it to yourself. Okay? So let's go ahead and we'll continue. All right. So I hope you are able to hear that. For some reason, every time I got one more, I have to share with you guys of a word God showed up during service. So if you're not coming to service, try to come. It's Monday and Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Central Time, because once in a while God shows up and has something to say. And for some reason, while we're listening to this, it's cutting in and out all the time. I know our enemy doesn't want us to really get out what God is doing because he's changing lives. He's helping us to rise up. Okay, so just remember what God says. If you want to email prayer requests for tomorrow night's service, 7 p.m. Central on Mondays and Thursdays, it's words from God, but WFG prayer request at yahoo.com. So WFG prayerrequest.com or at yahoo.com. So I'm tired, sorry. So right there, if you want prayer requests, because then I can keep track of them and not wind up losing what your prayer request is and where it is, because it's too many ways of getting a hold of me. So there's one more time that God had showed up, and I'm going to find it, and hopefully we can do that one tomorrow or by Tuesday maybe. Okay, I love you guys. Stay strong. And remember what God is doing right now. He's preparing us. He's doing a great shaking, and he's doing separating. I'm seeing him separate and remove people. Just to make sure you remember what he said. You don't need to defend yourself. He'll defend you. Don't debate. Don't argue. Don't put out comments you know would offend or trigger somebody. We're going to be the examples of Christ. Okay? And don't take the bait. Because Satan's going to try to bait you with anyone he can that's close to you. Let it go. Because what we're doing right now is being trained by the Lord, so we can handle things correctly. And when we get to go forth, we'll be ready. Okay? God bless you all. See you tomorrow night.